Are you sharing your screen?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this glorious evening as we embark on our journey on the road to glory.
What's up, party people of the SFL, party people of the LSG, party people of the LMNOP, the ABC, 1, 2, 3. What's up? What's going on? What's cracking? What is happening this Wednesday night? Welcome to ride number 9 on the road to glory. I see people piling in. Good to see everybody. I will get to the chat in just a moment. Just want to let you know a few things that are on tap for tonight. We're going to be doing our normal game recaps, game preview for next week, all that. I forgot to do something. And for those of you, for all of you in the SFL who thought I was perfect, I'm about to burst your bubble. I actually forgot to do something. I forgot to reach out to Vancouver and to Fort Worth to get some people on the show for tonight. So kind of as a response to last week's 2.5 hour show, which was the longest show in Road to Glory history, I'm guessing tonight will probably be the shortest one. I don't believe you, Bob Funk. I guess this will probably end up being the shortest one, but we'll see. You never know, because once Mike All gets here, I mean, you might want to pack a lunch. That's all I'm saying. But if you do pack a lunch, make sure you put some chips in there. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I see everybody tagging me. I'm not even reading those comments right now. Anyway, welcome to road number 9 on the road to glory. And speaking of perfect, I can't ever say the word perfect in the sentence without the words Charles Doherty. Perfect Charles Doherty is in the house. Charles, what's up? Welcome back to the show.
I thought you were going to say Pink Lisa.
She's the lovely, amazing, perfect Pink. You just don't have the lovely and amazing part yet.
How's it going, brother?
Hey, nothing. I'm chilling. I'm sober this week, so that's a good start.
Wow. Okay. Well, that makes one of us.
Although I do have. Do you guys remember last week when Lisa brought me the? I do have it here on standby just in case. Just saying.
All right.
So there's that. There's that. So Charles, it's gonna be a short show tonight, bro. I think we're gonna go
You
complete
said that
opposite of last
before,
week.
and you know what? It didn't work out that way.
Well,
So
did I say that last week?
I don't know. I don't think about
I don't
last week, but it maybe
When I say it's a short show,
before we go.
you forgot the second of it. Said it's a short show in relation to the Godfather trilogy, is what I meant to say.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
there you go.
Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome. Cornwall in the house. Subscribed to Tier 1 for 4 months. Thank you, Cornwall. Appreciate it. Let's go check out the party people, Charles. You want to do that? And then
Let's do it.
We'll talk some Lone Star
Party
stuff here.
people!
The first person in the house is... I went back too far. Oh, you know what happened? I didn't reset it, so I've got last show's stuff in here. I was like...
I know. I
was
saw
like-
Ike
I was
McBride
like-
on there.
I was like,
Ike's on here.
I was like, wait, is Ike not here today? That's not very
I
nice.
don't think so.
Where's Ike McBride? All right, here we go. Right here. First person in is Packer Fred. Freddie's in the house. Suda Nakai, Bullet Boletsky, Albert Begin, Art Vandalay, Bob Funk, the lovely, amazing, and perfect Pink Lisa. Nate Hall is here with us as well as Kendra Hall. My boy Dave Terry out of San Antonio. CB12 is in the house. Josh Farnsey is with us. Sudo Nakai. Deuce Fennec is here. Good to see you, Deuce. Bob Funk, of course. Who is in the house? Cornwall, like I mentioned. Let me see who else. Let me see who shows up that doesn't talk.
Yeah, you should have started off on that.
I know,
speech
but
that
that's all
way.
right. I like to see who's in here first. Boonberry is here with us again. Frank, the franchise Wade, the Rapid Raccoon is with us. Rogue Girl is here. Lana Ray, Lake Lee.
We've got an unusually high number of Vancouver people tonight.
It's
I
kind of
wonder
weird.
why.
It's weird. And you know what, Vancouver people? I apologize. I forgot to reach out to your team this week to have somebody come on and talk about the game. So my apologies.
I want to roll in the splendor.
I kind of spaced it the last couple of days. I didn't reach out to Fort Worth either. I kind of spaced everything. So there you go.
Well, I was gonna act like I was Andy Hamilton.
That would be fun. We should get a Rapid Raccoon. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. You know what we should do? Too bad you don't have like a picture, like a cutout of Andy, and you could just put his face over your face, and then
You know what?
And we could have a conversation.
Damn you! If you would have told me that before the show, I would have done it.
Damn it! See, everything's. I didn't think of anything. I didn't tell anybody anything. I don't even know why we're having this show tonight. I don't get it. Oh, Bullets
well,
in
good
the
night,
house.
everybody.
Good night. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Ride number 10. Bullet
right, Freddie.
Boletsky's in the house. Glad to see Bullet here. Yeah, where's Freddie? Why isn't Freddie singing already? Oh my God, dude! This is what happens if I'm drinking. This show starts off as a kind of a shit show, and if I'm sober, yeah, it's the same thing. I guess it doesn't really matter. If that's the case, Charles, if it's the same way whether I'm sober or drinking, I guess I should just be drinking. Here you go. All right, so let's see what we got here. Before we talked about the LSG store stuff, I do want to remind everybody we are going into week 11. There is the Lone Star schedule that we have had this season. We just got done with Vancouver. We've got Fort Worth coming up, and then 2 more games at San Diego, and we wrap up the season at home against Mexico City. That being said, I have a feeling we might have something with the Lone Store, like we always do. Charles, what do you got this week for us, buddy? Wait, CB12, you're jealous of his wine. I got wine too, bro. Come on. It's a team effort over here. Charles,
I'm here. I'm just waiting for the queue up.
I gave it to you already.
I mean, are you going to show me the picture? Or what do you wanna do, bro?
I'm waiting for you to do your thing so I can do the picture.
Well, let's do it. Let's
All right.
let's bring it up, man.
We are professional as always here.
We are
on the
professional.
show.
We've done this before.
All right, here we go.
That is DJ Gunny.
DJ
the more
Goody.
I got to say something. You know, the more I see of our Lone Star fashion models, Dave, the
Yes.
more I learn about how diverse a group we have. I mean, look at DJ Gunny here, our own Mickey McGuire. He's spinning records.
Yep.
A-list celebrities. I see Oprah.
Yep.
I see Jay-Z.
Yep.
I think I see Pharrell. And he's got that snapback cap on from the Lone Star.
That is the
store.
bomb cap. That's the same one I ordered, actually.
Yeah. And, I asked around about DJ Gunny's services, and they said if you have to ask, you can't afford DJ Gunny.
I heard that. I heard he was in Vegas this last weekend doing clubs during March Madness.
Yeah, so I used to think at one point that the compliments for him were, good windage, dead on, great interception. But now you have to say, hey, man, you rocked the party.
You rocked the party, Gunny. Gunny, can you hear us? Are you with us right now yet? Oh, Gunny's not here yet. See, Gunny just shows up when he needs to. He doesn't.
I think I might have made it.
I'm spinning some turntables over here.
Were you too busy making me a mixtape or what?
Yeah, I'm doing some ones and twos over here.
On the ones and twos, DJ Gunny in his house. I just wanted to confirm that everything that Charles just said is 100% accurate.
Yeah, that's my new Lone Star tuxedo.
Nice. When you open it up, the lining's all Lone Star stuff. Is that how it goes?
It is. It's blue on one side, red on the other.
Awesome. That's amazing, bro. Amazing. All right, Gunny, we'll talk to you in a little bit. Thanks for popping in real quick.
He's got skills. That man has skills.
He's got some skills with a Z. So anyway, there's the snapback. And for those of you who haven't heard this a lot already, you can get it at lonestar.myspreadshot.com, along with all kinds of other hats. One of our panelists tonight is actually wearing one of those. We got bucket hats, we got beanies, we got ball caps, we got flat bills, the whole 9 yards. What's that?
What a tease. What a tease, brother.
I'm just saying, somebody in this shindig tonight is wearing a hat. That's all I'm saying.
I like that hat, though. The hat that Gunny's wearing.
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one for sure.
You could wear it at any event, pretty much.
All right, you want to introduce our peeps tonight, or at any event? I might wear it.
Shut up, Charles.
I might wear it at my. I might wear it at my 30th vow renewal. What do you think about that?
Right.
I'm sure Lisa would love that shit.
So in the red corner, Dave,
yeah,
and fans at home, we have a veteran.
Ooh.
We have a LARPer. I didn't even know what the hell a LARPer was until a couple weeks ago. We have an SFL broadcaster. He owns the largest couch in the SFL. He's got most interceptions returned for touchdowns than many old-time defensive backs in the SFL. The best nickel defensive back in the business, Nate Doggy Dog. Oh.
What's up, Nate? Welcome back to the show, bro. How's it going tonight, man?
Doing great. In honor of Medal of Honor Day, here in a couple of days, I decided to wear my Afghanistan War veteran hat.
Good for you.
Got my U.S. Army veteran shirt on. I'm all military tonight, just enjoying the view and the show.
Boom. That's awesome.
Looking good, Nate. Looking good.
Let me see. I thought I saw somebody jump in the chat real quick before we get on to our last. Nope, I guess
I think
not.
Ike jumped in. Ike McBride.
Did she? I don't. Oh, there she
Yep.
is. Yep, there it is, right there. Ike, welcome back to the show. It's been a while since we've seen you here.
Yeah.
What do we got? Who do we got in the booth? Oh, what are you drinking tonight? You're not drinking a Chardonnay.
It's a not nowhere.
It's a Pinot Noir. Oh, great. All right. I guess I'm gonna have to come out there and teach you some wine stuff. In the meantime, who do we got in the blue square, bro?
All right, so in the blue corner,
Blue corner.
his voice is silky smooth.
Uh-oh.
He does the best impression of Homelander flying in the SFL.
Uh-oh.
He's got the power to send anyone on the SFL broadcast to the Matrix. He's chock full of hot sports opinions, a linchpin in our secondary. Bo, Morpheus, Martin, Jr.
Boom. You can't see me, but I do see the hat on your... Is that the LSG bucket hat, bro?
Wow.
That is money. Bo Martin Jr., welcome to the show, bro. How you been, man? You're muted, bro. You're muted, bro.
He's also got a Dunder Mifflin hoodie on.
You
That's
are
awesome.
muted, bro. You're muted, bro? Bro, you're muted?
He's still muted.
I don't know what he's doing because we heard him fine. Bo, there you go.
All right, how about now?
Holy-
How about now?
There you
Oh, there
go.
he is.
Yes. All right. You know, I had to represent with the bucket hat, man. LSG represent, it is a glorious, glorious Wednesday evening. I'm happy to be here. Let's talk some football. We'll talk a little bit about Vancouver since they took it to us. But anyway, enough about that. What's up, everybody?
and there's your Vancouver recap, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is. They beat us. The end.
Bo and Nate, both of you guys, welcome back to the show. Glad to have you guys. All right. Who else? What do we do next? I'm gonna go ahead and do our. Oh, I guess I should get rid of that hat. The Friends of Lone Star, Friends of LSG from around the SFL, and we always kick this off with our main man, Bullet Beletsky.
Oh,
Bullet,
boy.
welcome back to the
Here we
show.
go.
What's up? What's going on? And I dare ask how many bullet points
Buckle
you have
up.
this week after a 2.5 hour show last week.
What's going on, Dave? Well, there was a ton of material to choose from last week, so we have 9 bullet points this evening.
9. Holy
9.
smokes.
Could have been 19. Easy.
Wow. That's like a 6-shooter and you have to reload and shit.
It's going to be a bullet point next week, right there.
There you go. Boom. Boom. What's Nate trying to show us? A barcode or something? I don't know. You got to go the other way, bro.
Smirnoff Ice.
with berry. Yeah, I'm not. What is that? Does that actually have alcohol in it, or is that like? Do you
Yeah,
stick 'em with a
it's the
straw?
red,
Yeah.
white. It's the red, white, and blue Smirnoff in
Oh,
honor
okay.
of military.
There you
So
go.
there-
Good.
Nate, I'll see your Smirnoff and raise you a Captain Morgan 93 octane.
Wow. This is.
Oh, yeah.
We should just start
Hello.
a drinking show. I think. I mean, to hell with football. Let's just do a drinking show. What do you think? You guys want to do that? No.
Sounds good.
All right. Well,
I'll
Bullet.
drink to
Thank you, everybody, for your feedback. Bullet. All right, we got 9 bullet points, folks. Let's get through them. Bullet had a lot of material from the 2.5 hour show last week with the ladies of Lone Star. So, bullet number 1, what do we got?
Okay, bullet point number 1. What's fair is fair, so to prove that I can take it as well as I can dish it, I humbly have bullet pointed myself for falling all over my words last week when I said, Charles gave me something under the table not to include him in bullet points. I was immediately hammered for putting words in my mouth, and I deserved every hysterical comment thrown at me.
I agree with that. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I got your bullet point covered up. Hold on a second. Sorry. There you go.
Like a
Yes.
well-oiled machine tonight.
Hey, dude, I'm all over it. You know what the problem is? I didn't start drinking early enough. Yeah, I agree. And you know what, Bullet? Thank you for finally putting yourself on one of these bullet points, bro.
Yeah, I think I might have done one before, but this one had to be done.
I
done.
absolutely concur. Bullet point number 2.
Okay, to begin the show, Dave revealed that he and his kids went to a bar last St. Patrick's Day to celebrate and came out with the biggest bar bill that night out of the entire bar. Their efforts even won Dave a Jameson baseball cap. There's no joke here. I just wanted to say that I would love to hang out with Dave and his crew.
And I think I also mentioned that the reason I drink so much with my kids is because I'm such a great parent. So
Absolutely.
there's that. as
Parenting
well.
at its finest.
That's right. You know what? I'm not one of those parents that do as I say, not as I do. You know, if I ask my kids to do it, I'm going to do it. Damn it,
There you go.
or something like that. I don't know. What's bullet point number 3, bro?
Number 3, to kick off ladies' night, Charles blew up James Troll's ego to the moon by showing a photo of him sporting a troll tattoo and partying with 2 lovely ladies in a hot tub, with a Lone Star water bottle, of course, after last week's victory. Every single person listening to the show was supremely jealous, but deep down we all wanted to be James Troll in that moment. In a postscript to this story, troll tattoos were up 500% in the Lone Star, Texas area, and rumor has it that Charles mandated every member of the team to get one, but that has been unconfirmed.
Yeah, it's part of why I'm having. You see how I'm leaning over? I have to lean over just to sit on one cheek tonight. So
There you go.
now you know why.
There you go. Makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Bullet point number 4.
Number 4, Ike McBride, the star running back of the Glory, was a guest panelist and not only confirmed for all of the doubters out there that she's in fact a woman, she also revealed that she's a lawyer by day, which qualifies her as the smartest person in the SFL by a mile.
100%. I second that. Bullet point number 4. 5.
Is it 4? 5. I think it's
I
5.
think it's 5, bro. Dude, you
Yeah.
got so many. I'm losing track, man.
Yeah. Okay. Cam apparently slaps broadcasters when they make mistakes, especially when they mistakenly say he or him when referring to Ike McBride. He is also rumored to get anger to get enraged and throw his Xboxes across the room as he curses like a drunken sailor when anyone around him says tomato instead of tomato. But no one was willing to go on the record to confirm. If anyone wants to step forward in the future, please contact Ike McBride and she will take your deposition.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I actually heard that rumor when I first joined the league. And I was like, that's kind of ridiculous, but I think you're onto something now, bro.
Yeah, I think that needs to be investigated a little bit right there.
We need to get Ike on the case.
I think so.
Bullet point number 6.
Okay, number 6. Tina Begin was also a guest panelist, and when she was asked what her favorite part about her playing defense was, she had the quote of the season so far and definitely a T-shirt worthy moment when she said, "Sacking quarterbacks and breaking arms."
Oh, wait. Why didn't it move? Hold on. You know what? Oh, there you go, bro. I'm sorry. I messed that up. Hold on. Something's wrong here.
Oh my God. I got a snap preview of the next one. Holy crap.
Hold on. No, look.
That was 5.
So that's 5.
Yeah.
Was Cam 5?
Cam was 5, Ike 6.
Ike was watching Lone Star. Well,
sir, can you step out of the car, please?
Well, I don't know why the other one's not showing up.
Again, Tina was 6. My bad.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, there you go. See, I don't even know where Tina's.
I think you might have skipped one, Dave. I think you might have missed one.
I'm looking at them. I saw it early. I mean, shit, fuck, damn. Hold on a second here. Hold on. There's the Ike McBride is 3.
You just got
Cam is 4. Oh, I accidentally put Cam in 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's my bad. So the Tina one, I forgot to load. So
no worries.
Sorry, Tina. Breaking arms.
Breaking arms, baby.
All right. So is this 7? Are we back on track? Are we back to Ike?
Ike and the TV is the next one. Yeah.
Yo, this is all right. Good. I'm glad to see we're back on track.
Off the rails in minute 12. Dude,
it's like we already did like 9 bullet points in this show already. We're not even 20 minutes in. It's unbelievable.
I know. So, all right. So, shall I start the next one, sir?
Yes, number 7.
Okay. Charles knew this one was coming. So, Ike was talking about watching the Lone Star game this past weekend on her 72-inch TV, and Charles interjected that she should stop bragging. Ike shot back and said, "Mine is bigger than yours, Charles." Sounds like a McBride-Doherty family feud is brewing.
Charles, would you like to comment on
that? No. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Bullet point number 8.
A great bullet point.
Okay, this one.
Never piss off a lawyer.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
True story. Okay. Apparently still recovering from his back injury and being on painkillers, after a controversial TD by Portland, head coach Albert Begin, in his compromised state, threw a bedpan onto the field instead of the red challenge flag, allowing a play to stand unchallenged. Needless to say, Albert has some explaining to do to a pissed-off Lone Star locker room and a very disgruntled owner. Good luck, Albert.
I told Charles that Albert shouldn't be out there that day, but does Charles listen to me? No. And look what happened.
There you go.
Good to see you've got my back there, Bullet.
There you go.
All right. Finally, number 9. What do you got?
Okay. I was suffering in silence all last week about this one, so I have to come forth.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. I felt like a dope trapped in my northeastern bubble when the entire panel and chat started discussing how friggin' awesome Buc-ee's is, and here I am not having the slightest friggin' clue as to what the hell they were talking about. Thanks, everyone, for enlightening this Yankee from the north. I actually looked it up, and the closest Buc-ee's to me is in Calhoun, Georgia, which is 13 hours and 866 miles from my house. Might be time for a road trip.
Well, if you hold off till like September, October, there'll be one here in Sevierville, Gatlinburg area. That'll be a little closer than Georgia, but I agree, it's well worth the drive, bro.
I am so damn curious about that place now, seriously.
Well, think of this. Think of a gas station you pull up to that's got anywhere between 50 to like 200 gas pumps, and then you go inside, and it's like a friggin' Walmart. It's
amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and with the cleanest restrooms on the planet. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the restrooms here in New York City at gas stations are ungodly, to say the least. Yeah, ungodly.
Let me tell you all about Buc-ee's real quick.
Holy.
First time chat and viewer from T. DeQueen. Bucky's is awesome. You are absolutely correct. Thank you for joining in here. And Bullet, thanks for being here. And I guess what happens is when we do a 2.5 hour show, we give you a lot of material, and that's why we get 9 bullet points.
There you go, Dave. Pleasure as always.
All right, we'll see
Hey,
you
let
next.
me know when you're headed to Calhoun.
Bullet.
What's that, Gunny?
Let me know when you're headed to Calhoun. I'll meet you up there. I'm only 30 minutes away.
Sounds good, Gunny. Sounds good.
Perfect. All right, Bullet. We'll see you next week, buddy. All right, folks. Let's get into some football. Let's get into some SFL football. As you know, we just finished up week 10. 4 weeks left in the season, and we had quite a battle with the second best team in the SFL, the Vancouver Legion. A 44-34 loss. Lots of action in this game. Before we dig into the details, Charles, give me just kind of an overview on how you feel this game went, just, I guess, overall.
It was a weird game, man. I mean, I expected Vancouver to come out and put up a lot of points, but how they scored those points was curious. It wasn't the way I expected them to do it, but I guess that's why they're one of the top teams in the league. I mean, it was odd. We didn't get the bounces that we should have, and there was a couple other nuances of the game that were interesting. But hats off to Vancouver. They really played well, and when you play well on both sides of the ball, I guess luck favors them.
Right. Nate, same question to you, bro. Overall, what's your overall impression of the game against Vancouver?
So I kind of feel the same way that Charles does. If you go back and look at it, just a weird, wacky game, and I kind of knew what kind of game we were getting ourselves into when the first play from scrimmage for us is a swing pass out to our third tight end, which ended up being an offensive lineman backup, and bounced off his hands and incomplete. So just that play, I was like, oh, so it's going to be one of those games. Now that's freaking awesome. So
right.
That's yeah.
A lot of weird things, Bo, in this game. Give me your overall view, and you can mention a few of those if you want as well.
Yeah, weird seems to be the common theme. When Greg went down and they, the game never even told us. They just kind of left us in the lurch as far as if he was coming back or not. We never did find out what happened as far as if he was coming back. We just kind of had to wait until the end of the game, and he just never came back. And so that was a little disappointing because we kind of spent the whole game hoping, our number one receiver would come back into the game.
Right.
All in all, I think that, we tried to muster up as best we could to keep up with Vancouver, but they've got an incredible offense and a surprisingly good defense. I was a little upset as usual that I didn't get to really defend Brett Killian like I wanted to, because and this is me saying it with my chest, no trademark infringement intended.
Good.
They seem to avoid throwing it my way, and I was a little bit surprised by that because I know Brett Killian is one of the best receivers in the game, and I was looking forward to defending him, and he ended up, being not much of a factor at all. Now, granted, their tight end had a monster day, a career day, and kudos to him. But don't be afraid of me. I won't hurt you, Vancouver. Next time, let's try to have some fun.
Charles, back to you. I'm looking at the quarterback stats. We love Ace. Ace is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He threw for 423 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, only sacked once. That's a great game. On the flip side is where did he go? Tom Pepper, 391 yards, so almost 400 yards as well. 3 touchdowns, but 1 more interception and 2 more sacks. So 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks. The quarterback play was pretty even. I would say the advantage goes to Ace, but it just didn't pan out. Why do you think that is?
I mean, they scored 2 touchdowns on interceptions, I think, right?
Yeah, Farnsey had the 97-yard.
If you take away those 14 points, it could be a different game. But I mean, I cannot go without highlighting Ziggy Hronic. Came in We had our number one wide receiver down. He 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. Man, he balled out. He stepped in when we needed him to keep us alive throughout the game. Ace had a phenomenal game. I mean, it was amazing that our backup stepped up when one of our leaders went down. But I've got some comments later in the show, but hats off to Vancouver. I mean, they're a great team. They're a great coach, top to bottom. Everybody knows I used to be on that team. I mean, got a lot of respect for Andy and Percoco and Tom Pepper and the rest of the crew out there. They played well. That's the way they play. We talked about that. I mean, their game is just to outscore you. They don't really care how many points you rack up against them. And they just executed their game plan the way they normally do.
Real quick before we go back to Nate, Big Damn Judge has joined us in the chat. Welcome, Chad Rowland, Deuce Fennick, David Leathers. I think that's it for the people. Oh, and the Greg Soto, all in the house. Welcome everybody to the show once again. Nate, so here's the deal. Obviously, the trash talking in the house, the victory goes to Kendra for this week. But you had a pick six, which is, some trash talking rights of your own. Kendra, I'm looking for her receiving stats real quick. Only 3 receptions for 49 yards. Now, is that a tribute to Gunny? Did she just have an off day? Do you think you were inside her head from all the trash talking at home during the week? How did that go down? And talk to me about your pick six, as well as Evan Lacey's 2 interceptions as well.
Yeah, so according to her, if you look up in chat, she said she took a vacation on that game. I don't know if it was just because she decided that she felt too bad. She didn't want to hurt us too bad on offense, so she just decided to take a day off. But be that as it may. So her and I were on the couch, on the big ass couch together, watching our game, and so she was on one side of the couch, I was on the other, and I had that pick six, and I just turned to her and I said, "Now what?" So she's like, "Whatever, it doesn't matter." And sure enough, it didn't matter, because what they do, they went ahead and won. So at the end of the game, she turned to me and said, "Now what?"
Yeah, I could see that comment, bro. I could see that comment.
So I was like, "Yeah, you're right. You got the win, but I still got you on the pick six. So I'll take my pick six, but we'll get you next time."
There you go.
At least you didn't have to sleep on the couch.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. If Lone Star, so what's the over under on that? If Lone Star wins, are you sleeping on the couch? Is that how that works?
That's yet to be determined, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Real quick in the chat, Rapid Raccoon, who obviously plays for Vancouver, one of the best built teams we faced all season. I expect playoffs. Thank you for the compliment. Appreciate that. And then somebody else said something here. Kendra Hall. Oh, CB12 said, yeah, she took a vacation, but she took a vacation to Gunny Island. Hey-o. Speaking of Gunny Island and Beaumont Jr. Island, Bo, you kind of touched on it already a little bit. You're CB1 at LSG. You've got a great build. A lot of teams don't seem to throw your way, which is fine because we've got such great other secondary people, right? Evan back there with a couple picks. Nate had a pick. Gunny shutting down Kendra, whatever. It works out. But where's the frustration level on your part? Do you feel content with the fact that you're so good that people won't throw your way? Or do you want to get in on the action?
So it's a double-edged sword, right? So of course I appreciate, I guess I can appreciate the fact that people don't want to throw my way, because I've made some pretty good plays, right? And when I do get the opportunity, I've made some pretty good plays. So I get the reason that people don't want to throw to me. However, you're shorting your wide receiver one, right? So don't think about me. Think about your wide receiver one. Don't be so mean to your wide receiver one. Give him, because listen, I'm not naive enough to believe that I'm going to make every play, right? So your wide receiver is going to burn me once or twice during the game at least. So don't short your wide receiver one just to try to avoid me getting a pick or a pick six. It may or may not happen. your wide receiver one may get a touchdown. You just never know. If you don't try, you'll never know. So just try me. I'll be nice.
Charles, last round on the Vancouver game. Final thoughts on the game. It can be anything you want. You know, why we lost, something about the competition, some kudos, some complaints.
Yeah, I forgot to give kudos to the defense, and Nate took it back for points. I mentioned it earlier, so Nate, I didn't leave you hanging. And Van had a really good game.
Yeah,
I mean, those are the type of games that are, as an owner and a coach, are hard to watch because, you know, some of the crazy stuff that happens is just gut wrenching, and it makes you pull your hair out. And
well, here's the thing too, right? I mean, against most teams, you score 34 points, you're going to win that game. The problem is Vancouver's got one of the best offenses in the league and has for the last 4 years. They averaged like 32, 34 points a game. So if you play Vancouver, do you got to come prepared to put 40 on the board?
well, yeah, I mean, so their defensive, unless, you know, Andy scrapped this, but I was the defensive coordinator for Vancouver, and his philosophy is basically don't let them get behind you. So, you know, they could play cover 12 the entire time, and he's okay with it as long as you don't get behind him and let his team outscore, you know, the opposing offense. That's kind of what they do. So what that does is it how do I say this? It kind of minimizes, I think, some of the value of the defenders that they have. I mean, they've got some really real studs on defense, especially in the secondary. And you know, Ashley Rose Finch and Lopez.
Yep.
I may be missing a player or two, but man, they are really good. And with that type of defensive style, you know, they're not going to get a lot of, you know, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get a lot of accolades.
I get it. Nate, final thoughts on this Vancouver game. Same question to you. You know, it can be whatever you want. Complaints, kudos, you know, whatever.
I don't have any complaints. I'll give kudos where it's due. They coached a good game. They played us well. Came out
He
with
didn't get any
victory.
complaints because he got to sleep in his bed that night. I mean, how the hell? Come on, man.
No, seriously. It just shows you how strong this Vancouver team is when you can shut down all three of their wide receivers, and we let their tight end run loose on us.
And they still score 43 points? Yeah. Or 40,
yeah. So he got 2 touchdowns, Walters did, and then 2 pick sixes. That's 28 of their 44 points right there. So it just goes to show you that if you don't cover every single thing on their team, they'll find ways to hurt you, and they just played a better game than we did.
They did. Bo, you've got the last word on the LSG Vancouver game. Vancouver 44, Lone Star 34 in a shootout. Lots of points as we expected. They've got a high-powered offense. We have a high-power offense. What's your final thoughts?
Well, we all knew that Vancouver has only got one loss on the season for a reason, right? So nobody expected it to be a cakewalk. This was expected to be one of our toughest challenges of the year, and it was. And you know, so nobody thought that we'd run these last 5 games and win all 5. That was never that would have been nice, but we all know that Vancouver is one of the best teams in the SFL. So kudos to them on the victory. I think we hung with them exceptionally well, especially considering we lost our number 1 receiver within the first play or 2 of the game.
Right.
We hung with them exceptionally well, and you know, I look forward to meeting them again in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I think both Lone Star, Vancouver, are obviously playoff teams this season. They're both in the playoff hunt right now. If the season ended today, they would both be in. So I agree. Vancouver.
I mean, how often do you have a wide receiver 1 go out with a hangnail?
Hey, Dave, can I say one more
That's
thing?
what happens when Soder doesn't get his mani-pedis during the week, bro.
Coco in chat said Robert Redford was shut down too, so we did forget about that.
Oh,
part.
right, yeah. I mean, yeah, I forgot about talking about Robert Redford.
He only had a handful of yards as well. So,
it's. I mean, think about that. Think about what we're saying. Peppers throws 3 interceptions. He gets sacked 3 times. We shut down Robert Redford. We shut down Kendra, and they still score 44 points on us. It's just it's kind of insane over there in Vancouver. Well, And we've got friends over there. We appreciate Vancouver. We respect them. I would love to have a rematch with them in the playoffs.
Before we end this, I mean,
Yeah.
you got to give credit to their defense. I mean, we keep talking about offense, but their defense scored 14 points,
Right.
and that's huge.
Yeah. 34-30. I don't remember what. So was the linebacker 97
Barnsley
yards?
scored one in Major Key, the free safety.
Oh, Major Key. That's right. Okay. So there you go. We talk about Vancouver, you talk about offense, but you cannot forget about their defense.
And I'm ready to move on to the next topic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been trying to do that for the last several minutes.
Congratulations, Vancouver.
Yeah. Congratulations, Vancouver. Nate, that brings us to you, bro. This means it's time for your top plays of the game. Nate's great plays of the week, Week 10 at Vancouver at Canada Field. And how many we got tonight?
We got 6.
6. Okay. All
I
right.
could have easily done my own top 10, but I, in favor of making it a little bit shorter, I trimmed it down to 6.
Yep, Josh Farnza, you got it, buddy. Thanks. He said, thanks, LSG. Keep those Canadian passports for the playoffs. Absolutely. I would love to see you guys in the semifinals or something. All right, Nate, let's get this kicked off. So let me get this going first here. So you said you have 6. You could have easily had a top 10. We
Right.
narrowed it down to 6, or you narrowed it down to 6. So play number 6, Lone Star against Vancouver. What's your 6th best play?
Number 6, Evan Lacey with one of his 2 interceptions on the very last play of the first quarter.
Evan Lacey. Dude, look at look at these. This looks sharp, man, the way he puts this
Shotgun
together.
formation for Pepper. He gets the shotgun snap. Will fire it deep down the middle. It's picked off for the second time. Evan
We're not
Lacey.
getting audio for some reason. Hold on. Why did we didn't get? I don't know. Did you guys hear the audio on that? I hope you did. I don't see it on my meter, but all right. Number 5.
Albert said he heard it, so we're
Okay,
good.
sweet.
Number 5, Deuce Finnick with this amazing kick return with 28 seconds left in the first half.
I think that Ace needs to stick
For the
with
Legion.
this.
As they're now up by 14. And kick is still fielded by Finnick. And nice cut back to the outside. He has the chance to break it. He's going at midfield. Only the kicker can stop him. Actually, number 22 could stop him and does.
Yeah, they got
So
a
close.
play that they needed and a long touchdown return.
I love how he
Amazing
fakes
blogging
left
there
to
on the
go
kickoff
right.
return by Lone Star. And
Tackle there.
Deuce
breaks
Finnick
tackle
just says
here.
nope on one guy and just keeps running and running. And chance to win had a chance here. Can't catch him, but Major Key was like, got him.
Yeah, Rapper Raccoon in the chat saying that's his highlight. Deuce filling in for Soto. Yep. Number 4.
Number 4, this amazing touchdown pass to Ziggy Hronik.
Ziggy in the house. Is this the one down the left side?
The Gory has something to say about that. 4 wide receiver set. As Finnick will fire it to the left. Caught! Ziggy Ronick! And he has the edge. No one's going to catch him, and that's what they needed. Touchdown. Hold up. This game's not over yet.
Yeah, this game is not done yet.
T-Roy's losing his
Ziggy
mind.
Ronick with the proverbial splash play here. Look at him running. And I think that's the backups there not being able to catch him. And Ziggy Ronick gets 7 for Lone Star. An 86-yarder for Ziggy Ronick here.
Ziggy got the double replay on that one. Did you hear T-Roy losing his mind on that call? That was awesome. What do you got for number 3, bro?
Number 3, yet another touchdown pass to Ziggy Hronik. Number 2.
Ziggy's becoming the man.
He's on fire.
Ike
The
McBride a little
reason I put this at
setback.
number 3 was
And it was being
because
deep
of-
pass to the middle. Caught!
right there.
First down, touchdown! Pass is caught by Ziggy Ronick, and that's what the Lone Star Glory needed to get back in this game.
Like I
Greg, can
said,
you
that
please
was
report
Ace
to,
Fennick's primary
Office
target
after
in this
this
game right now.
playbook?
And
Ziggy
human
Fennick
resources,
goes to-
Please show up as well. Dude, I gotta tell you, I think we sign up T-Roy for all of our games, dude. That guy is so excited when we do stuff. It sounds awesome. Number 2, what do you got?
Number 2, a touchdown pass to Deuce Finnick.
The
who steps
turnover's
up
been
nicely
costly
in
for
the
'em.
transaction.
That's the reason why they're trailing by 17. Quick pass over the middle. Caught! Touchdown! East the deuce for 6.
Hey, Farnsey, just FYI, Ziggy moved to wide receiver this season, so he's not a tight end anymore. And what do you got? Number 1, top play. Wait, let me guess. Is it yourself?
Oh, yes.
Oh, for crying
It
out
is.
loud!
But no, hey, as a preface to this, before you play the clip, it's not. That's just what I do. I get the first points of the game.
It's just what I do.
Oh,
I get the first points of the game for us, and it becomes number 1.
Dude, so first
So-
of all, you guys want to see something really cool? You see, I got this bottle of wine. This cork has an icicle kind of thing to keep the wine cold. I'm
All
sure.
right.
I'm sure that's what it is.
that's great.
So yeah, Nate, I remember. Was it
That has many uses.
So yeah, I know you're gonna ask. This is the second time this year that
Yes.
this has happened
Sausage of
because
temperature.
because it happened in the Queen City game, and now
Yeah,
it
it
happened
did.
here.
It did. That's right. Here we go. Let's watch
This
this.
is going to hurt you more than me.
As he will drop back the pass. Pepper will swing it out to Redford.
Sorry,
And
Nate, go on,
Redford,
please.
this side's not the catch. That's Nate Hall. And that could be a pick 6 for Lone Star.
Got an interception. for a
And
touchdown. What else?
they are now one
That's it.
field goal
else?
That's
attempt.
it. That's
Extra
all
point
you
attempts
do.
away from
Balling
tying
out,
the
bro.
game.
You're balling
Look at
out.
this replay. How'd he get that interception?
all I
How'd he
need to
sneak
do.
in there? Oh my!
Prove my play right
Oh,
there.
it went off.
That's
Went off Redford's hands and into the
interceptions and
hands
take the
of
pass.
Nate Hall.
And the thing is,
That was just an
I have
unlucky bounce
120
for
something
Redford.
yards receiving yard or return yards on interceptions this season on those 2 pick sixes. If it's not past the 50, I don't really go for it that much because it's not the full length.
I'm just kind of too diva-ish and lazy to really go past the 50. If it's just really not my thing. Bo,
Here's
Bo's
what was on my mind.
yeah, Bo and
at
Evan
the
have that
beginning of
covered.
play.
That's really just not my gig. It's not my lady jam. And anyway, so a few comments in the chat about my cork stopper. Frank the Franchise Wade saying 3 seconds of pain, 3 minutes of pleasure.
Oh, nice.
Chad Rowland, I got an idea for that cork. I bet you do, Chad. And ice therapy. There was one more I wanted to read. Hold on, where is it? Designed by a proctologist. Yes, Yogi, that's hilarious. Nate, sorry. Thanks for the plays.
Say, hey,
Yeah.
Dave, if something
No
happens
worries.
to Nate where he can't make it, he's sick, and I have to do the great plays of the week, there will be a punter. In
Yes,
the top
it's gonna be
five.
four punts. It's
Look at
gonna be
this
all
punt.
4 punts.
This is what I was thinking before the snap.
Oh God, Nate, thanks for doing the plays. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week, but we'll also see you right now. So thanks.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Even though Kendra said I should be banned from talking about myself.
I
or
was
her.
just gonna. I
Right.
just saw that.
Kendra's in a mood tonight there, Nate.
She
Good
seems
luck
like
with that.
it. She seems like it. All right. Let's move on to my man Yogi and find out what's going on down south. Yogi, what's up down south? And welcome back to the show, bro. How you been, man?
What's going on? I like your proctologist wine cooler.
Dude, I swear to God, it's for the wine bottle. I swear.
She said.
Hey yo.
Hey-o.
We'll be here all night, folks. Well, God, I
Lisa,
hope.
this wine is really salty.
Turn your head and drink.
Oh my God, this show is off the rails.
So
Dude,
we're gonna have those wine cooler bottle coolers in the store next week.
yes, Lone
Done.
Star. Lone Star. Dude, and Bullet,
Bullet,
dude,
pay attention, Bullet.
tune in next week when the whole show is bullet points.
Lone Star.
Shit.
Noted.
It's a cooler and a marital aid.
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
Anyway, Yogi, I guess unfortunately we were the only team that went down this week. I think from the south.
Yeah,
Right?
it hurt. That hurt. Yes, it did.
So what do you got for us?
All right. Well, L.A. traveled to Fort Worth, and Fort Worth is one of the hotter teams in the league right now. They are putting up points every week. They jumped out 21-0. It was 30-0 at half. It ended up being 46-14, and it was just a dominating performance. Johnny Reno went out and threw no interceptions. He didn't have a ton of yards, but he had a good game. He was 27 of 38 for 241 yards and 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Jason Williams was Jason Williams again. 26 carries, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. Twins crew had a great game. 11 catches, 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. They had 6 picks as a defense. Held LA to 289 total yards, so that's 2 weeks in a row. LA's been held down in yardage. Amelia Rose was 4 for 4 on field goals with a long of 49. So it's a dominating performance by them. Houston traveled to Portland. After we struggled to score against Portland, Houston and Portland ended up 48-35 Houston. That was a score fest. Dave Burr was 21 of 29 for 374 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 3 sacks. He had a long of 71 yards. Great game by him. Brad Jones had a huge game. 30 carries, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns with a long of 77, and he chipped in with 3 catches for 18 yards. Always valuable yards. DR Sim exploded for 8 catches, 179 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Kyle Fenimore had 4 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown. Once again, their defense shined. They had 4 interceptions. Josh Rowe had 2 more to add to that league-leading total. I'm pretty sure he's in the lead.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but he's got to be close.
I think you're probably right, yeah.
Yeah. Kai Cash had 1. And KT Horrell won the Horrell household battle that game. She had 8 tackles and an assist and 3 pass deflections. So that was a 10-0 first quarter lead for them, and they just kept on, and it was a big ending. Houston just pounded it on at the end to make sure they won that game. We've been over our game. That big play of that game was fourth quarter, 4 minutes left. Is that Farnsey interception? 3rd and goal from the, or third and inches from the 1 1/4 yard line, and bobbled pass that cost us that game. That was it. They went, instead of being down by 3, we were back down by 17, and not enough time to catch up. Great play by Farnsey. I'm not complaining about it. Just a good defensive play. We mentioned Ziggy. We mentioned Ace. Freddie had a pretty good game. 6 tackles, 4 assists, and a pass deflection. Some guy had a pick 6. I didn't get his number, so I couldn't tell you who that was.
That's probably a generic player.
Yeah, it probably was. We'll move on to the San Diego-Mexico City game. Mexico City jumped all over San Diego right from the get-go. It was 27-0 at half. Ended up being 31-47. Matt Wilson did not have a Matt Wilson game. 23 of 31 for 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. He usually throws for more and throws for more touchdowns. Phoenix, 28 carries, 123 yards, a touchdown. And he had 4 catches for 16 yards and another touchdown. He's just game in and game out. You can count on Phoenix every week.
Yeah.
Cole Varner was 4 for 4 for a long of 51 yards. Jeffrey Daggs, 3 tackles, an assist, a pass deflection, 2 interceptions, a punt return of 64 yards. Derek Meerkat, 4 tackles, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, and a 43-yard pick 6. So they had 6 turnovers, a pick 6, and a punt return touchdown. Helped their cause greatly. So we lost some ground this week to everybody.
Right.
Mexico's 5-4. We're 5-4. Houston has crept up to 4-4, and Fort Worth has quickly climbed up to 3-6. They've won 3 out of their last 5. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
My players of the week would be, I'm giving it to, he's my guy, Ace Finnick. 41 of 59, 423 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yep.
Brad Jones, no question, 30 carries, 211, 2 touchdowns. DR Sims, no question, 8 catches, 179, 3 touchdowns. I'll give special teams, there'll be a tie between Cole Varner and Amelia Rose, both 4 for 4. And Jeffrey Daggs has to get the special teams player of the week. 3 tackles, an assist, a pass deflection, 2 interceptions, and a 64-yard punt return touchdown.
Wow.
Several pick 6s this week, and several players that had 2 interception games. It was tough this week. That is all for me.
All right. The fortunate thing for us, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we've either been in first or tied for first all season long.
Yes.
Problem is Fort Worth and Houston closing the gap, both playing lights out lately. And as you look at the board there, Yogi, look at all these scores. Look at all the teams scoring in the 40s. It's insane how much offense is in this division.
They've got master offenses, man.
I'm glad we played Houston when we played them. That's all I can say.
I agree with that. I agree. All right, Yogi, thanks for being here as usual. Thanks for letting us know what's going on down south, and we'll see you back next week, buddy.
I'd be here. Thank you.
All right, man. See ya. All right, folks. As you know, we've got a few segments throughout the evening that are friends of LSG from around the SFL, and we're about to break off another one with my main man, Frank, the franchise Wade. Frank, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How is everybody at LSG?
We are outstanding. Thanks for being here once again. For those of you who don't know or have forgotten, Frank always breaks down the franchise that we are about to play. This week, Frank, we got to play Fort Worth, which you know is only a few miles from our house. And we've had the advantage the entire time both teams have been in the SFL. We both started the same season. The problem with that, Frank, is that every time we play them now, there's a better chance they're going to beat us.
That's right. Fort Worth doesn't have far to travel to LSG for the battle in the South. Fort Worth got its start season 15 along with LSG, like you said. Their number one goal is to win games, but also embrace helping others on their journey through the SFL. Their record is 19-26 overall, including this season, making the playoff in season 16 with an 8-4 record. They won the first playoff game, lost in round 2. Even though they've gotten off to a slow start this season, like Yogi said, they've won 3 of their last 5 games and only 2 games out of first. They chose the Toros, which is Spanish for bulls, to reach out to the healthy Hispanic culture. Other names that were kicked around were Bulls, Brahmas, and the Panthers. Fort Worth is known as Panther City, so Panthers was a strong possibility.
Interesting.
Tried different color schemes. They were tossed around as well, but the luck of the Irish prevailed. They settled on navy and gold for Stephen Hacker's passion for Notre Dame. With this combination color scheme and mascot, it gives a shout out to their favorite college teams of Notre Dame and Texas. Their first ever draft pick was David Harrell in season 15, and that paid off immediately with performance on the field. Staying true to their word and wanting him to be successful, they had to say goodbye as David moved on to a coaching position with a rival coaching staff. But that draft class added guys like Delaney Nash, J.L. Browning, Joey Schwint. A quote from Hacker on Nash: Delaney Nash is a treasure. Dude doesn't always say much, but his timing is always perfect. Always seems to say the right thing at the right time for our team, or will suggest a fun idea to spice things up. Nash has accumulated 195 tackles, 86 assists, 7 tackles for loss, and 14 interceptions. A quote on Browning: J.L. Browning is another player that has stuck with us through our growth as well as his player growth. Started as a base copper, and despite the low value, has gotten huge return from this player. Browning has 167 tackles, 90 assists, 29 tackles for losses, and 2 interceptions. Joey Schwint has 66 tackles, 36 assists, 20 sacks, and 37 tackles for losses. The player that was mentioned as the guy that stands out is Aiden Davis. Davis was brought onto the team after their first season. After playing 2 seasons prior, Aiden Davis has grown from a kid to a young man before our eyes, Hacker said. It's been such a great time watching him grow. His dedication to the team while growing has never been in doubt. In Davis' 6th season, he has garnered 232 tackles, 86 assists, 10 tackles for losses, 28 interceptions, and 2 return for touchdown. And I can't say much. I can't talk about the Toros without mentioning Hacker, Nacho, and the man in the cowboy hat, Robert Garrett Jr.
Robert Garrett Jr.
Together, they are not only part of the building blocks, but the ones that are building this team into a championship caliber team. Jason Williams is the running back that puts the team on his back. This is his 4th season with Fort Worth, but his 8th overall. He has 8,516 rushing yards, 82 touchdowns, 2,104 receptions, reception yards, and 8 touchdowns. And again, staying true to their word, they have helped the man known as Thrilliums get ready for the next round of expansion bids. They're not willing to hold someone up that is wanting to advance in this league. They don't want to lose these guys, but seeing this league grow and players grow is very important to them. This is a very important game for both LSG and Fort Worth. These two teams are similar, know each other very well. It's going to be very interesting to see this play out.
It definitely is. Frank, thank you so much for that. Axel Raven giving you a great compliment in the chat, saying he loves the digging deep into the franchises. It's such a great history that can get lost. Respect. So
thank you, Axel.
Frank, we appreciate everything you do for us here at the show, and we'll see you next week, buddy. Thank you.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Later, bro. All right, folks. So that means it's time to talk about the I-35 shootout. Now, for those of you who do not follow Lone Star and or Fort Worth very closely, we have played 5 times in the history of our franchises. Lone Star is 5-0. A couple of those games have been really close. One of them went to overtime, I believe, and it's always a battle every single time. Problem with that, Charles, everybody's like, oh, if you beat on a team, you're probably going to beat them again. But the odds say exact opposite. Every time that we win, there's a better chance the next time that they're going to beat us. So, as usual, we're going to have a tough battle on our hands, and we're hitting them. You said earlier, you're glad we played Houston earlier. I wish we had played Fort Worth earlier, because Fort Worth, like Yogi said, one of the hottest teams in the SFL right now.
Yeah, definitely. And you can't understate the impact that Mike Twinscrew has on the coaching staff. He really showed his chops out at Louisiana, and he's doing the same here for Fort Worth.
I agree with that. Nate, what do you think about this game coming up? I mean, we'll dig into it in a second. I just kind of want your initial thoughts. The win streak versus the rivalry versus being close together, all that good stuff.
Well, it's not going to be a far drive at all to get to the game for them. So that's not a good thing for us, because we were kind of hoping that they'd be a little tired from the bus ride, but they'll be very ready to go, I'm sure, when they get to our stadium. But that being said, I am personally excited for this game. Just, it's a young quarterback, that's starting to come into his own now in Johnny Reno. Now, I believe in his second season in the league. Is it still his first season? Is it?
Is he a rookie? No. Johnny Reno?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's his second season. But he's getting stronger as each game progresses. And last game that they played against LA just proved that. Not throwing a single interception. And you know what kind of defense LA has with Ray back there and the other guys. So for them to score that many points against LA's defense should give us a little bit of a pause to really make sure we do our homework this week when we go up to face Fort Worth. Make sure we have everything buttoned down.
Yeah, Axel Raven confirming this is his first season. He is a rookie still. Bo Martin Jr., rookie quarterback. You're CB1. Are you licking your lips for, like licking your chops or whatever for this weekend, or how you feeling about this game coming up?
Well, you know what? I'm excited about the game, but I'm also a little trepidatious. I mean, I never take a team for granted. I don't care who it is, and their record does not show how good this team is. They've got some real all-star caliber players. I mean, there's not too many running backs better than Jason Williams, right? Yeah. He's been eating teams up for quite some time, several seasons now. They've got one of, if not the best tight end in the game in Robert Garrett Jr. And then you add in the receiving core of Cade Stevens and Stephen Hacker and Mike Twinscrew. Listen, this team is not to be underestimated. So I know that our work in the defensive backfield is going to be cut out for us. I'm a defensive player, so I'm always focused on how we'll perform on the defensive side of the ball. But we've got our work cut out for us. And so, if we're going to need to contain those guys. As far as them throwing my way, I'd love to say that I'm optimistic. One of these teams is going to go my way. And like I always say, the great thing about being a cornerback is you're going to get beat. So one of the advantages of being a cornerback is to know that I'm not going to win every battle. I don't expect to win every battle. right? So I don't have to win every battle. I just have to win some of the battles. So, and the goal is to win more than I lose. That's the difference with cornerbacks is we're going to lose some battles because when you got those receivers like I just named, you're going to lose. You're going to get beat. It's part of the game. But the goal is just to not get beat as much. You want to win more than you lose. So I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful that they'll include their WR1 in their playbook and not try to avoid me like some of the other teams do. We'll see what happens. It'd be great for them to at least let all of their team players play. That way I can get in the game myself and I can maybe get a couple of plays and we'll see what happens.
There you go. Charles, so I'm looking at they crushed LA this past week. We barely beat LA. Those, and this is the SFL, right? Anything can happen any game, especially with the simulation or what have you. But is there anything to how teams who are about to play each other played against common opponents going into the game?
I don't think so. I mean, there's so many variables with this game. In a non-APF game, I would say that, but there's so many wild cards, man. And you don't know what's gonna. You really don't really know what's gonna happen on the field, honestly. I mean, you can sim, and the results on the field are completely different. And just because a team did something to another team, the only advantage that it gives opponents is it gives you some film to look at for scouting.
Right. Well, speaking of that, Nate, you're one of our DBs. Going to have your hands full this week with Mike Twinscrew, Stephen Hacker, Cade Stevens, and Robert Garrett Jr. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of any of those four players, but they've kind of been around for a while.
Yeah.
As defenders, I mean, is it a pick your poison kind of thing? Is it, do we try to like we did against Vancouver, right? Let's try to shut down Robert Redford and Kendra, and then we get beat by the tight end. Is that going to be the same thing here, you think? Do we have to spread it out, or what's your defensive thought process when it comes to handling all these weapons? Never mind the fact that Jason Williams is the running back. So the only thing you would say is maybe they have a rookie quarterback. But other than that, this is a juggernaut offense that took a while to get going this season, but now they are rolling.
Yeah, they really are rolling. And I think if I remember correctly, the last time we played Fort Worth, I was made to look silly by Robert Garrett Jr., but we still won that game.
Did you DM him afterwards and tell him what was up?
No, I didn't. But it just goes to show you how crazy this game can be, because he was a monster out there on the field, and I tried my best to cover him, but there's just no covering that guy sometimes. And that was back when they still had Lauren Percoco before she moved on to DC. So I was trying to cover both of them at the same time at some points, and just wasn't working out. But we still won that game. So I think it's kind of a pick your poison type deal with this team. Try to button down as many options. Try to take away as many options as you can with their offense, and just hope that you have made enough of those defensive plays and then the offense scores more points, and then we can come out with the victory.
Bo, we've talked about defense a lot with you. Let's flip the script with you on this one. Because you are a defensive player, if you're on the offensive Lone Star, and across you see Adam Leach, you see Aiden Davis, you see Nacho, Delaney Nash, E.K. Vincent, Jeff Duffy, J.L. Browning, Joey Schwinn. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Is this a case of, like we just talked about the offense, where the defense also just, took a while to get going, and now they're playing well? They gave up, I think they gave up a lot of points last week, right? Let me double check this Yogi. Where's Fort Worth? No, they're the ones who didn't. They only give up 14 points against LA. So is this another case where now Fort Worth is just clicking on all cylinders? Their offense is clicking, their defense is clicking. It's a dangerous time to meet them. And tell me what you think about the Lone Star offense having to go against this kind of defense.
Yeah, shout out first of all to the Fort Worth coaching staff. for putting their team strategy together, man, because they clearly have it figured out. And I think they had it figured out all along. It just took their players some time to get going, right? And so if you notice, if you look back at their team right around week 6 or 7, all of a sudden something started clicking with them. They caught fire. And toss their record to the wind. It doesn't really matter because this is one of, if not the hottest team, not including Baltimore, of course, because they are freaking Phoenix hot, but not including Phoenix, not including Baltimore, they're one of the hottest teams in the SFL right now. So, looking across at that defensive backfield that you just named, we've got our work cut out for us. Now, that being said, I don't want to spend all this time, buttering up Fort Worth. Let's keep it real. I'm confident that we've got one of the best offenses in the SFL. So we've got the best running back in the game in Ike McBride. She can truck stick anybody in the league, and I'm confident that she'll be, one of the driving forces in us getting the victory this weekend. As long as Greg Soto gets his mani-pedi done in time, for the game, he'll be okay. And hopefully we'll have him back, and then that way we can keep you in your right spot at the WR2 instead of the WR17 where you ended up getting placed.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. We didn't really talk about that in the Vancouver game, but you're right, that was kind of weird.
Yeah. So hopefully we can keep you, like, for a while. It looked like you were running routes from the sideline. That's a whole different story. But I'm confident in our offense between, even though we've named some great players on Fort Worth, there's great players in LSG, between yourself, Dave Axis, between Ike McBride, you've got the Ace to Deuce connection, which nobody can deny. You've got Ziggy, who just proved that who he is. He didn't get a lot of shine. He doesn't get a lot of shine because he's WR behind you and everyone else. But Ziggy came through in the clutch. And then you've got, the rest of our offense that just all seems to come together at the right time. I'm confident we can hang with anybody. So as much respect as I have for their defense, if we let loose on them, we're going to be challenged to stop because we've got quite the offense ourselves, and we're going to be troublesome for any defense.
Before we get to Gunny, Charles, I'm going to give you the last word on this game. I-35 shootout. You know the history. You know the rivalry. You know the record. You know the crazy games we've had with them, the close scoring games, all that stuff. What do we need to do this week to secure our 6th victory against Fort Worth?
I think you probably need to establish a running game with Ike on the offensive side. And then I think we need to control Williams on the defensive side. They're gonna throw it deep, and they may burn us a couple times. They do that every time we play them.
Yep. Hacker always gets a long touchdown
late
right?
in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, with the So I think that's what we need to do. If we can handle their halfback and we can get Ike going, I think we got it.
Well, let's hope so. Thank you guys for breaking that game down a little bit, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody in the chat in that game this Monday night. We've got the Monday night game. Oh, I'm getting feedback from somebody. The Monday night game from I'm getting feedback from somebody all of a sudden. Who's on?
Funny.
Okay. Anyway.
Ready to bounce in.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good now. All right. CB12 in the chat. LSG offense is explosive, but so is Fort Worth. My opinion, they will win if they keep Fort Worth under 30 points. Yeah, CB12, that's going to be tough to do, to be honest with you. I can see this being a like we did, I think it was 2 seasons ago, where we won like 44-42 in overtime. I can see something like that going on for sure. Let's move on to Gunny. Gunny, are you with us?
I'm here.
Perfect. For those of you who don't know, this is what happens.
You? Yeah, you. It's time for mail call.
Gunny, I'm getting a little echo or something on you. I don't know if you have
volume.
Yeah, your volume high, or you've got Twitch up on the background or something like that. I'm getting an echo on you.
Yeah, I don't know why though.
Okay. I'll mute myself while you do your thing. So For those of you who don't know, this is Gunny's mail call. And usually this is all about Gunny letting you know about 2 or 3 of the people on Lone Star, the people behind the player. This week, though, with Medal of Honor Day coming up here in a couple of days, Gunny's got something very special for you guys. So, Gunny, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. As David mentioned, March 25th is the celebration of Medal of Honor Day. It has been celebrated since 1991. It is to honor the heroism and sacrifices of all those Medal of Honor recipients. There have been 3,525 Medal of Honors awarded. 618 of those have been awarded posthumously. The first award was given on March 25th, 1963. And this date was chosen to honor the 23 men who participated in the Great Locomotive Chase. Six of these men were the first to receive the Medal of Honor award. The last award that was just now given was in December 16, 2021. 3 of these soldiers were from the Army, 2 of them which were posthumously. And now the reason why I'm doing the roster for our name, 19 of our players they join the field with us every week. We have 19 generics that are all Medal of Honor recipients. Those names are as follows. Tackle, Richard Aintrops, Navy, awarded 1942, World War II. Defensive tackle, Roy Benavidez, Army, 1968, Vietnam. Defensive end, Pappy Boynton, United States Marine Corps, 1943, World War II. Guard, Smedley Butler, USMC, 1914 and 1915. He is a double recipient for the Haitian campaign and the Mexican campaign. Guard, Louis Kokola, USMC, 1918, World War I. Halfback, Desmond Doss, Army, 1945, World War II. Tackle, Herman Kuchnester, USMC, 1898, the Spanish-American War. Guard, Jack Lucas, USMC, 1945, World War II. Tight end, Ross McGinnis, Army, 2006, Iraq. Inside linebacker, William McGongle, Navy, 1967, Vietnam. Cornerback, Robert McJeskajewski, USMC, Vietnam, 1966. Inside linebacker, Audie Murphy, Army, World War II, 1945. Cornerback, Eugene Oborgan, USMC, Korea, 1950. Backup quarterback, Jacob Parrott, Army, Civil War, 1862. Outside linebacker, Lewis Pfeiffer, USMC. This was not during a battle, but he was on a sunken ship. He saved most of his comrades. He was awarded in 1901. Wide receiver, Herbert Pellew, Army, Korea, 1951. Free safety, Brett Slobinski, Navy, Afghanistan, 2002. Tackle, John Walmsley, Air Force, Korea, 1951. Tight end, Alvin York, Army, World War I, 1918. To coincide with the Medal of Honor Day, which is this Friday, March the 25th, the Lone Star Glory will be wearing their alternate military uniforms versus the Fort Worth Toros in Week 11 action at Medal of Honor Field. Dave, that is all.
Hey, I was muted, bro. Gunny, thank you. Appreciate it. I forgot I muted myself while he was on so I wouldn't get the echo. Appreciate
Hey, Dave, can I jump in real quick?
You may.
So next season, we are going to honor the only female Medal of Honor recipient, Mary Edwards Walker, who was a surgeon during the Civil War. We will add her to the roster next season.
Awesome. Even better.
One more thing, Dave.
Go ahead, Yogi.
Benavides, the second one he announced,
Yep.
that was where Rambo came from. They did the Rambo series in honor of him. Yes.
Oh, that's an awesome little tidbit, Yogi. Thank you for
Yes.
that, buddy. I appreciate all the work and research that Gunny put into that. I appreciate this organization. Lone Star, we get a lot of flack over here, and it's okay. We take it.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
Flag?
I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
But you know what? You can say what you want about us, but we respect this country. We respect our military. We respect our veterans, and we certainly respect Medal of Honor winners. So for those of you in the chat, yes, I was muted. I get it. Oh, my gosh. Look at everybody. I was muted. I was muted, bro. I get it. Thank you, Gunny. Really appreciate that, buddy. I'll see you next week. All right, folks, we got one segment left, and that segment will be Mike All in a moment. But before we get to Mike All, I want to bring up again what Mike All brought up last week, and that is the announcement by Christian Brown, the quarterback of St. Louis, who we affectionately refer to as CB12 here, and we called him out. We said, hey, listen, if you actually, let's do this. Why don't you I'll replay the video that we played last week, and then we'll talk about it. How about that? Here we go.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right into the camera right now. I'm going to be here for the long haul, and I'm going to try and help this team win a championship no matter how long it takes. Does that answer your question?
So we got on him. We called him out a little bit, and so he reached out to us and asked if he could make a statement, of course, because we are fair and balanced. I don't know. I think if anybody, has that been coined yet? Because if not, we should use that. We're fair and balanced over here at On the Road to Glory. So we wanted to give Christian an opportunity to respond to what we said last week. So he has a statement prepared that I'm going to post on the screen, and I will read it. He is also in the chat in case you have any questions for him. But this is his statement. It's 2 pages, or it's a page and a half. I'll go ahead and read that now before we go on to Mike. Christian said, I fully put that video out there on my own behalf to have a little back and forth with Johnny, to have some fun with the situation. I did say that I was going to be in St. Louis for the long haul, and I had every plan on doing that. People can speculate on any reason for why I am going to test free agency after my 3rd season, and some think it's about me. It's an about me thing, wanting to be a superstar, center of attention. I can assure you that is not the case. This league is about more than football to me, so much more. It's also about meeting new people, making new friendships, trying new things, and that's ultimately what I want to do. Do I deserve to have the tape rolled back and be criticized for what I said? Absolutely. If I'm going to put myself out there and make statements, I have to be able to handle the criticism that comes with it. I have not made an agreement with another team. There is nothing wrong in the locker room in St. Louis. There is nothing wrong with the ownership. Quite the opposite, actually. They are some of the best people I have come to know in this league. It's a situation where I said I wanted to be in St. Louis for the long haul, and I'm ending up leaving after my 3rd season. I had full plans to stay the course there, but just like in life, things change. What changed was the sudden departure of 3 key players on the team, which leave some significant holes. And I want to try being in a different style of offense. That doesn't mean that I want to be a superstar. It could just mean that being on a team with a finesse back or one that takes more shots, etc. The thing I am most looking forward to is meeting new people, developing new relationships, and having fun, which is what this league is all about. So I also wanted to mention Dwayne, one of the owners of St. Louis, reached out to me as well and wanted to remind me that the reason for CB12's post-game or pre-game, I guess it was a pre-game press conference, at the time was partly in response to Johnny calling him a scab, and then so that was the back and forth in that. So we're not taking whatever the back and forth between Johnny and him is whatever. What we talked about last week was the fact that CB12 said, I'm going to be here. And then, and then he backtracked, and now you have the statement, and now you know why he's leaving St. Louis. So if you have questions, he's in the chat. You can DM him or what have you. But in the meantime, I think it's time for us to go get some chips with some dude I heard about. I don't know what his name is, like Mike All or something like that. And we are going to have some all that and a bag of chips with my main man, Mike All. And for those of you who have not seen this segment or do not remember, Mike All normally, other than last week, does not tell us what he's going to talk about. He just wings it or he prepares. He just doesn't tell us. The only prerequisite is that he does have a bag of chips. And what are we eating tonight, Mike?
Can you see that, Dave?
Yeah, cheddar and bacon potato skins from TGI Fridays. Those sound amazing, actually.
They are really good, Dave. I'll give them credit for that. Their organization seems to have disappeared for the most part around here, but chips are still good.
Would you say that is that the best chip you've had this season?
No, but it's in the top.
Well, you've only done
nine.
Like
it's
9.
in the top 9, Dave.
It's in the top 9. Wait, so all right. So what's the best one you've had so far this season?
It's a toss up. Love the Funyuns, love the Doritos. These are really good. The chili cheese Fritos were really good.
Oh, I bet those were good. Those was it last week or the week before you had those weird ones that kind of like rolled into each other or something?
Yeah, the layers. Yeah, the layers.
I don't know about
we should have an ongoing ranking of the chips.
I think. Mike, next week it'll be week 10, so you got to give us your top 10 order of chips that you've had this season.
That's a lot of work, Dave. I don't know. Maybe I'll eat a bag of chips to think about it.
That's a lot of work. That's awesome. Well, what you just heard before we get into whatever your topic is tonight, you heard and read CB12's response. What's your response to his response?
It was very well thought out, very well put together. Left no room for any
here we go.
misconstruing of his words, and I appreciate that. I'm glad that he took the time to come on and put that out there for us, because the original statement did leave room for interpretation, which may not necessarily have been correct, obviously. So I appreciate his words, and I do hope for the best. And like I said, I didn't mean for it to become a CB12 hate fest last week. That was not the intention.
That went a long time, but everybody had an opinion on it, right? But that's the thing, right? It wasn't necessarily CB12 hate fest. We've done that with other people. Other shows have done that with other people. I mean, Johnny has probably been the biggest one, has gotten ripped on for things he said. I'm going to go crush this team, and then he throws 4 interceptions or whatever. It happens to everybody in this league, right?
Sure does, yep.
It sure does. So what do we got for tonight, buddy?
Well, before I get to the actual topic, I wanted to jump back onto Gunny's thing. I have a friend of mine, Robert Laplander. He's a military historian. He actually took the time to teach me about a lot of the Medal of Honor winners. And there's actually a local guy here named Gary Wetzel. He got his Medal of Honor in Vietnam. And even with his advanced age at this day, and the fact that he's got a prosthetic arm, he still looks like a dude you don't want to mess with. Like, he's a total badass.
Awesome.
And of all the guys we talked about too, Schmedley Butler was our favorite name, because we would walk around work going Schmedley Butler.
Schmedley Butler, dude. So that's they named the Marine Corps mascot after him a lot.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Well, yeah, he was certainly a badass for sure. Dude, you're making me want to go get some chips right now. I'm just saying.
Just come on over, Dave.
I know. All right, I'll be there in just a few minutes.
So I wanted to talk about the team expansion, possible roster expansion things going on at the end of this season.
Okay.
I know we've kind of dabbled into it a little bit, but if they add more teams, there's going to have to be some division realignment, you would think, right?
I would have, yeah. There would have to be. Sorry.
So if they add 2 new teams, that's kind of mess up the thing. So do they add 3? Do they add 4? Do they add 6? How many teams do they really add?
Unless it's going to be uneven unless they add 6, right? Or unless you just totally. What do we have now? 24.
Yes.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to make 8-team conferences? I mean, I don't know, bro. That's a good question.
Yeah, but let's just look at it from this way. Division reorganization. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
How do we do it? Do we do it by region? Do we want to do it in ways that keep rivalries together? I mean, if you do it by region, you're going to have some real reorganization. Like let's just look out west. You can make a division out of just LA, Las Vegas, Arizona, and San Diego. That would be a nice, tight, compact division. But that also means Vice Wars is not going to be a yearly or seasonally thing anymore. So that takes away that rivalry right there. Do we want? And Charles may have more knowledge on this subject, maybe because he is an owner, and so he gets the privy to be in meetings and stuff like that. I would think. When they do reorganize, do they reorganize solely by region? Do they take into account rivalries? I mean, what's the plan for that?
I don't know what the plan is before we pass it on to Charles, but Bo Martin Jr. made a good point in the chat. So if you add 4 teams, that gives you 28, right? So then you can have 4 7-team divisions. That makes the math work. But like you said, what do you do about rivalries, right? What do you do about Vice Wars? What do you do about especially the South, the Tex-Mex division? There's no way those 4 teams should ever not be in the same division, right?
Well, at least you guys in Texas, you guys are so tight.
Yeah.
I had another thought that maybe because Pepper was going to go for a team out in Calgary. If we add another international team, do we just do one international division and then keep
Mexico
those guys
City,
in their
London,
own division?
And a couple Canadas. Yeah, I see that too. That's a great point as well. I know that somebody mentioned, Rapid Raccoon said something about that Mike St. Green said tonight. Where'd that go? Hold on. Or somebody said it. Oh, Nate Hall. Or Nate Hall said it, but I thought somebody said it too. But anyway, apparently there's going to be... Oh, it's CB12. No? Oh, yeah, it's CB12. I'm sorry. CB12 said it's 4 or nothing per Mike St. Green on crunch time. So before we get to... Let me go to Charles first, and then we'll go to Nate, and then we'll go to Bo. Here's my thing, though, Mike. I think it makes sense that you would say 4 or nothing, right, to keep the divisions even, so we can have 28
Sure,
teams.
yeah.
I get that. Here's the problem, though. Depending on how many people you have in the minors, depending how many people you have come into the league between now and whatever the cutoff date is for draft, minus anybody who's leaving the league, do you have enough players? And then also, will we do team expansion and roster expansion? And if we don't even have enough to do team expansion, is it really 4 or nothing, like they said? And I'll go to Charles first. Charles, what do you think about what CB12 said about what Mike St. Green said on Crunch Time tonight, that it's basically we have to go 4 or we don't expand at all?
I think based on the numbers, I think that's what it comes out to. But do you want me to go through my whole list of concerns here, or do you want me to just
you do it. That's what this segment has become. So yeah, let's do it.
So I'm probably in the minority here. I've got concerns about expansion, and it's kind of from a business standpoint. I mean, before you expand, you need to make sure that your operations are tight, and this may be controversial, but I don't think our operations are tight right now. With the current amount of teams that we have now, there are errors on the rosters that come out. There's an issue with business continuity. You add 4 more teams to that mix, I think it's going to further. It's not going to mitigate any risk whatsoever. It's going to actually make the risks more risque. There you go. So how are you going to divide up the divisions to Mike's point? I don't know. It's going to ruin, I think, some of the rivalries that have existed, like, for instance, in our division. I've also got a concern about the playoffs. I think the next logical move from the SFL is going to be they're going to add more teams to the playoffs. And I honestly think that there are too many teams now that make the playoffs. I mean, half of the teams in the league make the playoffs. I think that's BS. I think, you got teams that are barely over 500, crawling into the playoffs, and they don't deserve to be in there. And it just muddles things up. And again, back to the roster things. I mean, there's errors out there. And we just need to make sure, or the league needs to be able to say that, everything is, all our I's are dotted and T's are crossed. We've got business continuity. When I say business continuity, I mean, like if Cam gets hit by a bolt of lightning, if somebody can step up into his place and keep the operations going, I don't think we can at this point. So there are a lot of things out there. And I feel like, quite honestly, from an ownership standpoint, when I bring those things up, I feel like I'm in the minority. So there it is. I've thrown it out there.
Okay.
But how do you really feel, Charles?
So Nate, you said you had some information based on crunch time. If it's different than CB12, let us know about that. But also,
it's not different.
Okay. But also, two things. I'm kind of, well, actually, let me just start one thing here. I'm thinking to answer Mike's question first, right? We have 4 teams in our division right now, 3 Texas teams and a Mexico team. To add in 3 more teams into our division, I think Tulsa is probably the most natural one that you would throw in there. But then where do you go from there? Like Mike was talking about the West, right? So do you bring in Arizona to us and then move all those West teams more up towards the North and into the Midwest and combine with those? There's a lot of scenarios here, but how do you think it should break down? Firstly in our division, and then just kind of overall.
Yeah, I'm on the same track as Bo on this one. If you look in chat, the way I understood it from Crunch Time and what Mike St. Green was talking about, it's still going to be 4 teams in each division, and we're just going to expand a separate 7th division based on geography.
Okay.
So if that's the case, that's fine. But I don't think you need to expand playoff teams in that scenario. There'll just be 1 or 2 less wild card teams make it into the playoffs. So you'll have 7 division winners at the end of the season, but instead of 6 wild cards like we have now, you'll just only have 5. And it'll be a lot harder to get into the playoffs based on those 5 wild cards.
So right now we have 24 teams in the league and 12 make the playoffs. Is that right, or 11?
12. Yeah, so it could still be 12 teams that make the playoffs, but instead of 24 teams in the league where half the team make the playoffs, there'll be 28 teams in the league, and the same number of teams will make the playoffs that season.
Okay, yeah. Hacker jumping in the chat. Hacker, welcome. You missed the Fort Worth segment, but we were nice to you, so don't worry about it. Hacker saying that basically he agreed with Mo Martin Jr. with what you just said, Nate, that it sounds like it's going to be 7 divisions of 4 teams each. Bo, does 7 divisions sound...
Before you move on, I did have something to add.
Go ahead.
So apparently, according to Freddie and Zach Haldorf were already in after dark mode, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm kind of with Charles on this one. I'm afraid that if we expand to 4 more teams, it could turn into a shit show real quick. Just trying to maintain the business continuity that Cam has started with this league, as well as keeping everything straight with the rosters and everything and so forth. There's going to have to be some sort of, I feel like there's going to have to be some sort of staff expansion to move along with that team expansion, if that makes sense.
Okay, so it looks like Hacker also has a question about continuity in the chat. But so, Bo, let me ask you this: from a consumer point of view, I would much rather have less human players per team and more teams because there's more good positions available, right? We don't have to go offensive line as much. We don't have to go punter as much. We certainly won't have to get into the backups, although I think that this sounds like that's the plan regardless. However, from a league point of view, I think it would certainly be easier to add more roster spots to teams before we add teams. Now, because of the number of people we already have, teams are pretty maxed out already. We're at 23 now, but we're pushing it to where, we already have offensive linemen and punters and what have you. Is there a happy medium here? Because I agree with these guys that adding teams is more work for the league. It's more scheduling, right? Which means more games. It means more announcers. It means more graphics. It means more broadcast. It just means more everything, right? Where if you just add people to teams, you don't have to deal with all that. Problem is, teams seem to be to the point where they're going to be oversaturated real quick. Where's the happy medium?
Yeah, so I've always been a fan of the team expansion versus roster expansion because at the end of the day, and I suppose there may be exceptions to every, but I don't think anybody wants to be a backup player, especially not in a league where we pay money, right? So it's different if you're trying to earn your way onto a team and and your pay, how much you pay is based on how much you play. It's not, at least not at this point. So, in my opinion, you'd be better served to have a team where you've got just enough players rather than you have too many players. And so what I mean by that, if you think about the numbers that Cam decided to work out as far as roster expansion, he said that his goal would be 90 new players. Now, ideally, he wants more than that. But if you think about that number, 90, that's actually pretty magical because if you did a 4-team roster, a 4-team expansion, and you added 23 players per team, then you're looking at about 81, 82, somewhere. My math might be off. 79, but, or 80, no, I'm sorry, 82. 82 players that you would need for that 4-team roster expansion.
Actually, I think it's 92, actually. But you're right. But even 92 is at that 90 point, right?
It's right. It's right around there. Okay. Like I said, my math isn't the best.
Okay.
I've just about finished my glass of Captain Morgan 93.
So, dude, none of us should be doing math at this point in the show and drinking. Trust me. No, so it's 92, which is basically 90. So
which is right around where Cam said he wanted us to be. Now, of course, to exceed that would be nice, because you can expect a little bit of attrition between, some people retiring, et cetera, or leaving the league, et cetera, et cetera. But long story short, you want to have enough room for players to play. And so I think it's actually a good idea at this point to get that, that 90 as a goal. Because like I said, nobody wants to be a backup.
Yep.
And there may be exceptions to every rule. No ill will towards you, Charles, but I don't know too many people who are trying to be kickers or punters, right? So,
except owners probably. Yeah.
Except owners.
Yeah.
So, everybody wants to play in this game. And so, the best thing to do, I mean, you could do roster expansion up the wazoo, but who wants to be an offensive lineman? I mean, well, the vast majority of us don't want to be an offensive lineman. So I say all that to say that, Crazy 8 said 4 times 24 is 96. That part I would have got right, but I said I was trying to do 4 times 23. So that's why I didn't,
I agree.
That's what threw the wrench in my plan there, Crazy 8 2000.
Threes in math odd numbers in math is hard, man.
Odd numbers in math is hard, right.
Hey, so, there's another bullet point for Bullet Biletsky right there.
But at the end of the day, I think 4 teams is very doable. We've got a couple of backups in the league already that may be looking for starting roles. So that actually rolls right into what we're looking to do. And so I think that's quite visionary of Cam to shoot for that 90 number along with the backups that are already in the league. I think it'll work out nicely as long as everybody plays, everybody stay, the majority of the people stay. And I think everybody's going to have a spot. And then hopefully we'll have enough people for a 4-team expansion, or worst case scenario, 3-team expansion or 2. But I think 4 is what he's shooting for. I watched Crunch Time as well, and he said 4 or nothing. So I think that's what they're shooting.
Which, you know what, and I agree with the 4 or nothing philosophy. If you're dedicated to expanding, I agree with the 4 or nothing. However, Axel Raven, if you're in the chat or if anybody else can answer me, how many minor league teams do we have right now? And Charles, here's my question to you. I kind of agree with you that, first of all, let me back this up. First of all, I am usually more in favor of team expansion than roster expansion once we get to a certain point for the reasons I said a minute ago. We have 8 teams in the SFL. If you think about how many people might leave the SFL and you fill those spots with people from the minor league, why can't we just wouldn't it be easier on everybody, especially the league, to add 1 or 2 more minor league teams to make up the difference for, whatever numbers we come up with, whatever people are left over, versus having to put 4 more teams in the majors? It seems to me that 24 teams is plenty. And because of the issues that you brought up, maybe team expansion isn't a great idea. And if we have extra people, we got to put them somewhere. Why don't we just expand the minors instead? Does that make more sense? Am I seeing this wrong, or do you agree with me? Disagree?
I think they're looking at expanding the minor leagues as well, Dave.
Okay, so Charles, what are your thoughts on that versus major league expansion?
Well, I don't really have an opinion on the minor league, but I do think that we could do at least a little bump on the roster, the current roster numbers. But I am going to stand fast on my comments about the league. I don't think we're ready to expand. I mean, I think from a revenue standpoint, it may make sense, but I honestly, if we do that and we don't meet the needs of the customer,
right?
And when I say customer, I say top to bottom, owners, coaches, and players. I think it could be a huge negative impact on the league.
It's a risk.
It's
a huge risk.
No, it is. It's definitely a risk. Final thought. Let's go, Nate. Let's go to you first, buddy.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. Whether you expand team rosters or you expand teams themselves, a number of teams. And I honestly think so. Going back to what Bo was saying about the minor league expansion, they are talking about adding 4 more teams, and that if you take a look at the ticker on each game, that's what the whole 90 number came from. For expanding 4 more teams to the minor leagues this coming season. I think the last time I looked this past weekend, they were at like 88. So they're that close to expanding or being able to expand 4 more teams to the minor leagues. I think the only natural step after that is expanding teams to 4 more teams in the major leagues for those minor league players to go to once their minor league season ends. So I think we're like right on the brink of expanding 1 more teams to begin with.
So esports is an anomaly, right, Bo? Especially the ones that you have to pay for. This isn't like the NFL where you're only going to have so many teams for so many years, and if you don't make the roster, too bad. Go play in the Arena Football League or the USFL or whatever.
Right.
We kind of have that option here with the minor league for the time being. There are players like Christian Brown who have spent a lot of time in the minor league, so it's not necessarily impossible. I guess I just don't see the urgency to add more teams in the majors.
Right.
When we could literally just add maybe 1 or 2 roster spots and then filter everybody else to the minors.
So if I'm thinking this through, I mean, I agree with you, Dave. I think that we're going to be cutting it really close. And that's what I meant earlier when I said it's because what you don't want to run into is you don't want to run into a situation where you've got more teams than you've got enough players, because now you're looking at what are you going to do? You're going to have non-contracted players in positions, which is what you want to avoid at all costs. So I do believe that roster expansion should come first. I think, Dave, you're on the absolute right track with expanding the roster expanding the teams in the minor league first, because that's what's going to give you the funnel to have enough players to make sure that you don't run into that problem with not having enough players in the majors when that happens. So I would tend to agree with you, Dave. If they want to do any type of team expansion and they're insisting on doing perhaps some sort of SFL majors expansion, I would say maybe do just 2 teams in the majors and then expand the rosters, expand the teams in the minors as well. But if all things were as I would think they would go, I wouldn't expand anything in the majors just yet.
Yeah.
Let's get enough numbers, because what you want to have is you want to have enough teams where when you expand, you're already in a position where you've got those teams to be filled and more people in the waiting. You never want to have more teams than you have players. And so I kind of agree with you there. And there's a lot of agreement with what we're saying going on in the chat. But at the end of the day, what do I know?
Yeah, at the end of the day, none of us are going to make that decision. But Mike, let's bring this back full circle to you. You've heard everything that we've said about your question. What do you think?
You know, I was unaware of the business concerns that Charles brought up. I'm not against the team expansion. I'm also not against roster expansion. I am concerned about what Hacker just talked about or questioned with raising subscription prices. I don't know that we hold on to.
Why did he bring that up?
more
What's the
trade-offs.
context of that comment? Do you know?
If
So if I,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. I was just gonna say if it's about what CB12 said above that,
The paragraph.
yeah, about how staff needs to be increased to help the league run
right. So
smoother.
So if you have if we have paid staff in the league, which I don't even know if we do, but if we do, right, how do you pay for more staff members? Is that the question? And the only answer is to raise subscriptions.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, we might be pushing the limits of what people are willing to pay as a yearly subscription already,
Right.
especially with the quarterbacks and the running backs. There was that survey done some time ago where quarterbacks and running backs were asked about that, and there was some that said no worries about what it costs, but then there were plenty that said, yeah, I'd probably be out if they raised the prices. You don't want to alienate your fan base by pricing them out of the league.
So last
But
question. No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead and finish.
I mean, again, I feel like team expansion could be a good thing, but there's always issues with things. And
Right.
Hacker even pointed out that the last round of teams, you guys and them and all that, they seem to be pretty healthy at the moment.
Right. Actually, were we the last ones, or no? I think.
But what does that mean, Mike?
Did Portland I think Portland and a couple other teams came after us, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I don't think we're.
What does that mean that they're healthy?
Well,
I assume that he means that the league seems to be running okay with it. I mean, not great, possibly,
It
for
means
what you
that
said,
the
but
owners that run that team are doing a good job. It doesn't mean that the league's running well.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
well, I know LSG has a pretty good owner, so
It's debatable.
No, I mean, my concern is, I mean, how many businesses go out there and they expand too fast and they wind up dying because they wind up alienating their customers? I don't want to paint a doom and gloom scenario here, but we need to make sure that we're pristine from a business standpoint before we do that. And I personally don't feel that way.
Plague 7, I don't know who that is in the SFL, but he said you have to have a proper budget to determine the cost of labor. Absolutely, right? So I think the bigger discussion, Mike, actually, it's funny. We didn't even really answer your question. We went off on a tangent, right? The question was about how do we realign divisions and stuff like that. And we're talking more about, before we even get to realigning divisions, do we add to rosters? Do we add to teams? Do we add to the minor league? All those questions seem like they need to be answered first before we can even tackle realignment. However, that being said, I want to know what you think about realignment and who should come in the Tex-Mex division with us besides Tulsa.
I mean, if we're keeping it at 4 teams,
well, let's say we go to 7. Let's say we go to 7. Let's have fun with that. It's going to be Arizona probably.
All right, so if you have 4 divisions of 7 teams, you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to definitely have time with Tulsa and Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana. I forgot about them. Yeah. Tulsa,
right
Louisiana, and Arizona. That would be money right there, right?
Yeah, that would be a tough division. It kind of looks like I'd be stuck with Atlanta coming into my division, and I just had a hard time with them. I don't need to face them more often.
Well, you've already got Florida, once or twice a year, every year anyway, right?
Yeah, but thanks to Art, I feel like it's going to be a little bit easier this season.
Damn. Art Vandelay thrown under the bus by Mike All.
I love Art.
Oh my God, I know you do. We all love Art Vandelay. Anything else to add before we wrap this up, Mike?
I don't know. We kind of missed the point of my discussion. I would think it would be easiest to do regionally, but I would hate to lose out on some rivalries again, like the Vice Wars rivalry.
You know what? Maybe we should do this next week. Let's does anybody in the chat that's listening, or anybody who listens to this on VOD afterwards, that map that I made the season before we actually had the divisions? Do you remember that, Mike? And I made this white map, and I put all the team icons, but then I just literally circled with like a crayon, and one of them looks like a phone, and whatever. One of them looks like something else.
A crayon? What's a crayon?
A crayon? Well, I'm a Marine. You wouldn't know what a crayon is.
A crayon?
A crayon? Crayon, like cranberry? But if we can find that map, I say we put that up, add whatever teams aren't on there, and let's have some fun next week when you come on, and let's move some teams around. Let's look at a couple different scenarios, unless you come up with something else, but that's just a suggestion to you.
Mike, you said international division, didn't you, at the beginning?
Yeah, that could be.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. Well, London.
Your
so
topic,
London, Mexico City, Vancouver, and then potentially another team.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So I say we play around with that next week, unless you come up with something juicier.
Yeah, I'd be up for that, especially if somebody finds that map.
And especially if we get any more information between now and then about roster expansion versus team expansion versus minor league expansion. That'll be interesting to see if we get any news on that between now and then. So, Mike, always a pleasure, bro. Thanks for being here. Thanks for eating chips for us. We appreciate it. And then, and also don't forget next week, top 10 chips when you come on. You got to send them to me. I'll make a graphic.
I'll think about it, Dave.
We'll count them down like David Letterman, but different, but better. I mean, David Letterman. I mean, does anybody even really know that guy?
Yeah, he's the guy with the big gap in his teeth.
He looks like a meth Santa Claus now. Have you seen him recently?
Yeah. He looks like if somebody let Charles. He looks like if somebody let Charles loose in Napa Valley.
Whoa, heyo, heyo. All right, Mike. Thanks for being here as always. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week with apparently a lot more to talk about.
Yes, sir.
All right, see
you.
He
always brings it, man. Mike
he does.
Always
all right,
it.
Mike all that and a bag of chips, folks. Got a couple minutes left. We're going to wrap this up in 2 hours. I saw Ike McBride in the chat talking trash to Tina, talking about how long we're going. But guess what? We're not going 2.5 hours. We're going to wrap this up in the next couple minutes. Right now, actually. Every single show we want to bring to the listeners' attention, just a reminder of what happened to Evan Lacey. Van Lacey's son went missing December 17th, 2019, found murdered January 3rd, 2020. His killer is still at large. They have not found him. There's been some progression made off and on, but as of right now, still nothing. If you have information or you would like more information, you can go to findourmissing.com/EvansHope, or you can go to their Facebook page, Find Our Missing Evans Hope. As you heard earlier during Gunny's segment, we fully support the military and veterans here at Lone Star, as well as Medal of Honor winners. For those of you who may have tuned in late, all of our generics on Lone Star are named after Medal of Honor winners. Gunny went through the list. Our field is literally named Medal of Honor Field. We owe a lot to the people who have put their life on the line for this country, including my alarm clock that's just going off right now. We take it serious here at Lone Star. We support the military, and we support Objective Zero. This is our 3rd or 4th season in a row now, working with them, donating to them, working hand in hand with them to try and alleviate as much veteran suicide as possible. They do a great job. And I think just last week, you heard Lisa come on and talk about this amazing organization, and we support them and we appreciate them. Special thanks going out to the party people, Ace Fennec, Frank, the franchise Wade, Gunny, Bo, Morpheus, Junior, Bullet Boletsky, Nate Hall, Yogi Bar, Mike All Dat and a bag of chips, Fab56 Freddy, who's about to come on here momentarily to sing to us. The ladies of LSG last week, both Ike and Tina, thank you very much, as well as the lovely, amazing, perfect Pink Lisa to come on and talk about Objective Zero, which I just mentioned. What's on tap for next week? Ride number 10 on the road to glory. We're hitting double digits, baby. We've got the Lone Store special, whatever Charles decides to come up with for next week. Of course, we'll have Mail Call with Gunny, Frank's franchise segment, all that in a bag of chips, bullet points, Nate's great plays, What's Up Down South Yogi, and Fab56 Freddy's farewell, which leads us to what? To Fab56 Freddy's farewell. Freddy, what's up? How you doing? Are your vocal cords all warmed up and ready to go?
Yeah, good evening there, Dave. Great show with you, Charles, Nate Hall, Bo. Yeah, as Dandy Don would say back in the days, turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. We call it a night, the party's over. Until next week, we'll see you again. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Freddie. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good night, Charles. Good night, Nate. Good night, Bo. Good night to Frank and all of the people that were on today.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Jane. Good night to Freddie, Nate Dogg, Yogi, Freddie, Bullet, Bo Martin Jr., everybody. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being on. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Hacker, we can't play any real songs, bro, because then they'll ding us and they'll mute part of our show, and we just can't do that anymore. I can't even use my my little intro music anymore because they ding me. It sucks. I know. But I would be down with some Sweet Home California. I'm sorry, Sweet Home Alabama.
Heck,
Sorry.
Hacker's asking about Skinnerd. Isn't he way too young for Skinnerd?
I don't know. Hacker, I don't. You know, I would say
props to Hacker.
Hacker's probably in his 30s. I'm guessing. Do you think he's in his 30s?
Okay.
He looks kind of young, but I bet he's in his 30s. I bet he's older than he looks. But anyway, everybody, all the party people, 28 minutes to go to the end of the show. Nope, Albert, it's wrapping up right now. We are not going to do 2.5 hours like we did last week. That is the show. We've already said our goodbyes. We've done our wrap-ups. It's time to I mean, look, dude, Freddie already sang. It's over. It's over. You know what I need to put on here? Does anybody remember at the end of Ferris Bueller when the movie's over and he's in his robe and he comes back out of the bathroom, he says, "You're still here? What are you doing here? Leave. Go." I think I need to get that clip on here so I can tell all of you to leave when the show is over. I think we're going to do that starting next week. So thank you for all the people here at Lone Star. Thank you for tuning in. Good luck to everybody this weekend in your games except for Fort Worth. And I hope everybody has a glorious week and a glorious weekend. And we'll see you next Wednesday right here, 9 p.m. Eastern on this Twitch channel. Good night now.